Namaskaram. A very warm welcome to all of you to Nadam Natanagraham online classes. At Nadam Natanagraham, we aim to share knowledge on Bharatanatyam and allied arts. Please note that this channel does not intend to substitute a dance guru or a dance teacher. It only intends to give an insight to this vast ocean of classical performing arts. You may use this channel only if you don't have access to a good dance guru around your residence. If you are already a dance student, you may use this channel as a supporting aid for practice. Please take from this channel only what you feel is best and most suited to you. If you have any doubt in the authenticity of the content provided, please feel free to contact us for clarification. We will try our best to clear your doubts. Apart from lessons on Bharatanatyam, we would like to share with you lessons on Natuvangam. The topic of classical dance and Natuvangam is as vast as an ocean, and it is really very difficult for any one person to gain complete knowledge on this subject. We share with you whatever knowledge we have received from our respective dance gurus, music gurus, various dance books and various other gurus too. Why is it important to understand Natuvangam for a dancer? Geetam, Vadyam and Nrityam go hand in hand. Geetam, that is the lyrical part of music, Vadyam, that is the instrumental part of music, and Nrityam, that is the dance part of music. Together, Geetam, Vadyam and Nrityam are known as Tauratrikam. The topic of Natuvangam is like a never-ending ocean. To understand Natuvangam, we have to understand what is Talam, also known as Tal. If we have to define Talam, we can say Talam is the time measure of music which can be demarcated with words, notations or symbols, and it also keeps control or check of the speed of music. Maybe Talam should actually be pronounced as Talam. The change in the pronunciation has probably occurred due to the developments in the past years. A description of Talam or Tal is there in one of the ancient granthas or books. Takara Shankara Prokto Lakara Shakti Yujyate Shiva Shakti Samayogena Tala Nama Bhidhiyate. In this description, Ta stands for Tandava of Shiva and La stands for Lasya of Parvati. The union of these two, of Tandava and Lasya, is what has given rise to Talam. We get Ta from the Tandava and La from the Lasya, and hence Tala, also known as Talam. There is one more interpretation in some other book which says that Ta of Takaram stands for Lord Brahma and La of Lakaram stands for Shrishti or creation. That is, Talam is the Brahmanda Shrishti, the Shrishti or creation in the whole universe. There is another one documentation which gives a different shloka to describe Talam. It goes like this: Takaram Shiva Proktasya, Lakaram Shakti Rambika, Shiva Shakti Yuto Yasmat, Tasmat Taro Nirupita. The meaning is the same as the previous shloka, where Talam has formed due to the union of Tandava and Lasya. When we thought of how Talam would have originated, we read a few books and we came across a number of interesting stories, and we would like to share those stories with you. One story was that the Devas in the heavens were very happy doing their routine work, protecting the world, doing all their duties, routine duties, but something was missing in their life. Enjoyment was missing, happiness was missing. They felt very dejected and bored because of not having something to look forward to. So they went to Lord Shiva and they told him, "Oh Lord Shiva, we have everything, but somehow we have some missing in our heart. Something is missing. Please find a solution for this sadness that we are experiencing because of not having anything to look forward to." When Lord Shiva heard this, he thought for a while and then he took his dhamaru. For those who don't know, Lord Shiva holds the dhamaru in his hand, in in his right hand, and he started playing the damaru. Ta, Dhi, Tom, Nam. These were the sounds which emerged from the damaru, from Lord Shiva playing the damaru. Ta, Dhi, Tom, Nam. 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 And there emerged sound. Sound was created in rhythm. So these were the first sounds that were created in rhythm, and there talam was created. Time measure was created. The time measure of music was created. And when these sounds emerged from the damaru, tad dit tom nam, in different speeds, the devas were mesmerized by the sound and started moving their body according to the rhythm, according to the sound that they heard. This story is mentioned in some of the Puranas and is believed by some people. Now, what another point you can notice is the ta, dhi, tom, nam. These words, these syllables, these are actually syllables, not complete words. These syllables have a particular time measure in between them. There is a fixed time period between ta, dhi, di and tom and nam. The time measure remains fixed. The time measure between ta, di, tom and tom nam. And that is how this ta, di, tom, nam, ta, di, tom, nam, ta, di, tom, nam, ta, di, tom, nam, ta, di, tom, nam. That is how it was created. There is another story which speaks about the creation of talam. There was a time when humans used to wear animal hide as their cloth, as their vastra or cloth. During that time, what was mentioned is that during that period, when they remove the hide and wash and keep it for drying, when they did that once, there was heavy rainfall, a huge downpour, and the downpour was so much, and it fell on the hide which was kept for drying, and the different sounds that emerged out of falling on the hide which was kept for drying. Hide is that the skin of the animals, because that was what people used to wear in the ancient days. So the sound that emerged out of that was like ta, tum, 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 ta, tum. It went on like this. So here again sound was created in rhythm. So that's a very interesting story that we came across. These were the people who existed in the ancient times, as I had mentioned. The things that they had in their hand were probably wooden spoons maybe, or bones and leaves and wooden sticks and twigs. So when they heard this sound, they started dancing with these instruments, and then there was a new creation of dance in that rhythm. So this was mentioned in one of the books. It's a very interesting story, as I told you. So I have told you two stories which are linked to the creation of talam, also creation of dance itself. Now we move on to one more story which is more popular, wherein the creation of time measure in the talam, where the introduction of time measure in the talam is also clearly mentioned. In this story, long back once when Lord Shiva was dancing, the bell from his anklets, or ghungru as it is called in India, it broke and fell. When it broke and fell, it went right up. It raised, it just broke, and with that power it just went up in the sky. Now the devas and all the sages were very aware that Lord Shiva's bells from the anklets are so powerful that if it directly fell on the earth, there would be destruction everywhere. The earth would get destroyed. So they were very worried. They immediately rushed to Lord Shiva and prayed to him, "O Parameshwara, O Shiva, if the bell of your anklet falls on the earth, there will be destruction, the earth will be destroyed. Please don't allow this to happen, O Lord Shiva. Please save the earth. Lord Shiva realized this, and when the bell went up in the sky, he made it fall on his head first, and the sound ta emerged from there. And it again went up with a resonating sound, ta, in the sense that was the time duration the bell took to go up, and to come down similarly, equal time duration to come down. And then he took it on his hand. The second touch was on his hand, from where emerged the sound dhi. Again it went up, dhi, and came back down, in that time duration, and it then touched his thighs. From the thighs the sound emerged, tom, and then again it lifted up, tom, and came down, so with equal duration. The last touch was on the earth, nam. The sound emerged was nam, and went up, nam. So the time duration that was there between the bells touching the head, the hand, the thighs and the earth was equal, and the sound emerged at each of these touch points was ta, dhi, tum, nam. And that is how talam was created. The talam which had equal time measure between each of these syllables. If the syllables were not in equal time measures, for example, if it was ta, dhi, tum, nam, see, these are what I counted just now was all at random timings. The time duration between ta, di, tum and nam was all different, and that is not what is talam. The time duration between each of these syllables has to be same, and that is what is talam, which as per the Puranas was created in this manner. So now we have looked at how this time duration of music, that is talam, was created. So effectively, Lord Shiva reduced the power of the bells which were falling on the earth. So by the time it touched his head, his hand and his thighs, and then it touched the earth, the power of the bells, the force of the bells reduced, and the earth was saved. Not only did Lord Shiva save the earth from destruction, he also created talam or tal, time measure of music. So this is a very interesting story on how these 4 syllables created by the bell of Lord Shiva touching his different parts of the body and finally touching the earth was created in equal time measures, creating the talam. Now we will try to say this in that time duration. We are going to try to say this in the time duration of 8, because that is the easiest time duration for a beginner to understand or to learn what Adi Talam is and what the Angas of Talam are, and we shall go into it at a later stage. Right now we will just learn how to say this in rhythm in the Adi Talam, which you won't know maybe. In case you know, you can do the Talam along with me. It has 1 laku and 2 dritams. So this tad dit tumnam will be said in a keeping 8 counts in mind. So it will be ta, di, tum, nam. So we have said it in a fixed time measure, and we have measured that using our fingers, our hands, using counting with our hands. So this equal time duration that we get is talam. Ta, dhi, tum, nam. They say this talam exists in the whole universe constantly. The time duration between the syllables ta, dhi, tum, nam may vary in the sense it could be ta, dhi, tum, nam, or it could be ta, dhi, tum, nam. But the duration between each of these syllables is equal. What we notice here, that the time between ta, dhi, tum and nam was equal. The concept of time duration was created, known as talam. These syllables, ta, dhi, tum, nam, are actually mridangam syllables.
Nam. Second spell over it. Dhi. Nam. Dhi. Nam. Dhi. Nam. Dhi. Nam. Dhi. Nam.
To learn Natuvangam, we shall borrow these syllables from the Mridangist. What is Natuvangam? In simple words, you can call it the Angam used by the Natuvan. Angam, that is the part, and Natuvan is the one who does the Natuvangam. He is also known as the Natuvanar. Now, who is the Natuvanar or the Natuvan? A Natuvan, also known as Natuvanar, is the person who controls the whole recital. Just like in case of movies, the director is the one who controls the actors, the singers, the dancers, and all other things associated with movie making. Similarly, in case of a Bharatanatyam live recital on stage, the Natuvanar or the Natuvan is the one who controls the dancer and the entire live musicians who are supporting the artist. The live musicians in the orchestra for a Bharatanatyam recital are the Natuvanar, the vocalist, the percussion instrument player, which is the Mridangist, the flutist, the violinist, and quite often a Veena player. All these put together are the live musicians for a traditional Bharatanatyam recital. The Natuvanar controls the dancer and all these musicians. With the help of this instrument, which is known as the talam, the Natuvanar has to be proficient in not only dance but also in music, particularly the rhythm part or the talam part. This instrument, which is made up of two parts, is together known as the talam. The bigger of the two, which as you can see here, is made up of iron and is held in the hand like this or like this. The smaller is made up of brass, this one, and is held like this. And when these two strike against each other, the sound created is what controls the entire performance. Hence, the Natuvanar should be perfect in his laya. When this is made to strike this in this way, it is called Shamyam. This way. We normally don't do this because it's considered very It's like closing something. It's considered closing, or it's got a very, it's equivalent to creating darkness. When we strike on the talam, which is held in our left hand like this, with the one held in our right hand in this manner, it is called talam. And this is called shamyam. We don't do shamyam because it's considered like covering, closing, or creating darkness. And this is the right way to do it. While playing the mridangam, a mridangist strikes his hand or fingers on the mridangam and creates various sounds. Similarly, the Nattuvanar will strike these two parts of the talam to create different sounds. There are two ways to hold this instrument. One is, as you can see here, between the thumb and the first finger, to play it like this. The other is to hold it in between the first finger and the second finger in this way. In this way is what is more commonly used. However, when you hold this like this, you could get injured on your fingers, so we have to be very careful, and there is lesser ability to move this. The control over this particular piece is lesser than what you would get in this condition. It's easier to move it in this position. So we will try it holding this instrument in this fashion. When we strike this particular piece made of brass, when we strike this onto this, we get different sounds of different frequencies, depending on where you are striking on this piece and with what effort you are striking it, and also depending on how you are holding this. If you hold this very tightly, you will get a sound with lesser frequency like this. If you hold it loosely, you will get a more resonating sound in this fashion. So that is how you can get different kind of sounds using this. So based on your adava, you can choose to hold this tight or loose, depending on your ability to move your wrists and your comfort level. We will attempt striking this in 3 places in this way: 1, 2 and 3. Let us take the syllables ta, di, tom, nam and try to play the Nattuvangam by reciting these syllables. In our first attempt, we will try to strike this in the 3 places in this way: ta, di, tom, nam. Let us attempt to do this in 3 speeds. Ta, di, tom, nam. 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 So here we have attempted to recite that di, tom, nam in 3 speeds, striking it in 3 different places. However, this is a little difficult to do at the initial stage. Hence, we suggest that you may use just 2 parts, that is the bottom part of this talam and the center part. You can also use the top part and the center part. So you can choose among one of the 2. Striking on the top part and then coming to the center is a little more difficult. You need to have more practice to do that. Striking on the bottom part and then the center is easier. So we will attempt that now. Ta, di, tom, nam. 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 So this is how we create the sound of our Nattuvangam while reciting the syllables. This is a very basic lesson for you to get introduced to this beautiful instrument and to be able to recite these wonderful Mridangam syllables in rhythm in 3 speeds. The topic of Nattuvangam, as I have mentioned before, is an ocean. There is a lot to explore, and hence We hope to see you back in this channel soon to explore this wonderful art much more. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have liked this video, please click on the like button. If you have any queries, you may email us at natanagraham2808@gmail.com. Please do subscribe to this channel so that you get notifications when we post our next video. Thank you.